Hello, in this tutorial we are going to find out excavation quantity for foundation, but before that it is very important to know about the detail of the foundation. So here you can see we have just excavation plan, and this is the footing that we are going to find, and this is called as isolated footings. So let's see what is the isolated footing. So the isolated footing is one of the most popular and the simplest type of foundation used worldwide. An isolated footing is used to support single column, and isolated footings are independent footings which are provided for each column. So here you can see the visual interpretation of this footing. We have just isolated footing over here, and in isolated footing we have three kinds. We have pad foundation, this is rectangular. We have stepped footing, as name suggests, this is stepped footing, okay, and we have sloped footing. So this kind of footing is used when columns are not closely spaced, loads on footing are less, capacity of soil is generally high. So this is all about isolated footings. Let's go again into the drawing. Now here you can see we have only one kind of footing, that is F1, and maybe in your case you have just different kind of footings like F1, F2 and F3. So the size of the footing will be different in your case. Now here we have to just find out only one foundation, and we'll just multiply it with the total numbers, so it will just give us the total excavation quantity. Now this is the plan over here, and let's see the detail over here. What is the length and the breadth? So what we can get from the plan, we can just get a length and the breadth from the plan, okay. So this is 1300 by 1300 millimeter, okay. So it's mean that length of this footing is 1300 and the breadth of this footing is also 1300. So this was plan. Now let's move into the section, and from section we can just get the depth of the foundation. Now here you can see at the bottom the width is 1300 millimeter, okay, and here you can see some of the detail like at bottom we have just PCC over here, and the PCC is 148, and with that we have just foundation over here, and the reinforcement over here. We have just columns starting from here, okay. So let's see the depth of the excavation. This is the ground level over here, and from here we have just thickness of PCC is 1500, then the thickness of foundation is 400 millimeter, and from here to ground level this is 300. So this is total of 150 plus 400, it will just make 550, then 300, it will make just 850 millimeter. So depth of this foundation is 850 millimeter. Now length and the breadth of this foundation for excavation, okay, we have to just excavate from here to here. So this is 1300 by 1300, and the depth of the foundation is 850 millimeter. So for excavation we need what? Length, breadth and the depth. So in next tutorial we'll just find out the excavation quantity through this detail. We have just length and the breadth and the depth of the foundation as well. So I hope you understand this session. We'll see you in the next. Hello, in this tutorial we are going to find out excavation quantity of foundation. So for this I'll just go here in Excel first, and I'll just create a table over here. So let me just merge these one first, okay, with this key merge and center, and I'll just write here a company name. What? Company name. And at this side I'll just go here, and at this side I'll just merge this one again, and we can just write here consultant name, okay, consultant name. Now you can just write your company name here, and here your consultant name. So let me just give here PMCon, okay, like this. And at bottom we have to just create a table. For example, in this case I'll just go with serial number first, then description, and then we have to just write here numbers, then length. Okay, length in meter, we are just going to calculate in meters, okay, and then breadth or width, okay, this is also in meter. Again we have to just give here a depth, because for excavation we need depth, okay, in meter again. And the next one is quantity, and the quantity of excavation will be in meter cube. What? Meter. And I'll go here in insert, and I'll just insert a symbol over here. So I'll go here in symbol option, and let me just insert this cube symbol, okay, this I'll just insert this one, and I'll close this one again. Now this is quantity, and we have to just add one more column, that is total quantity. Okay, total quantity, and it is also in meter cube. Now meter, and I'll go here in symbol option, and this is in meter cube, and let me just insert this one. I'll close this one. Now the next column will be regarding remarks, if you have any. Okay, remarks. Now let me just unmerge this one first. Okay, I'll go here, and I want to just move it a little bit like this. Okay, and I'll just merge it again. Now I'll just adjust these columns. I'll just select all of this data from here, and I'll double click over here. Now let me just give a border over here. I'll just select this one, right click, I'll go here in format cell option, and from here I'll go in the border option. Okay, this is the border option, and I'll just create a outline first. Okay, so for this I'll just select this style, this one. I'll go here in outline option, and I'll press OK. Now outline has been created. Now the next we have to just create a border over here. So again I'll go here, okay, like this. Let me just right click over here, format cell, in border, and I want to just choose this border. For example, we have different kind of borders over here. I want to choose this one, and outline inside, and I'll press OK. Now this one is also been created. Now let me just go again over here. I want to just select in format cell, and I want to choose it again. Okay, outline, and I'll press OK. Now this is okay for me. Now let me just give a color over here. For example, I'll just go here, and I want to choose this kind of color. Okay, so I'll press OK, and at bottom I want to choose this again. Okay, like this. Now our table has been created over here, and we have to just put here a data. So first we have to just give here a serial number like 1 2 3, and then we have to just give a description of a item. For example, right now we are going to find out the quantity of excavation, so I'll just write here excavation, and then numbers as number of foundation, for example, and then length, breadth, and the depth of the excavation. So let me just go here in drawing first, and I have to just check the detail from here, and the detail of this foundation is 1300 by 1300, in length 1300, in width 1300. Okay, and the depth of the foundation is 850 millimeter. 150 plus 400 plus 300, that will make total of 850 millimeter. Okay, so here you can see in excavation plan we have just all of these foundation as F1, so it's mean that the size of the foundation is equal. Now if in your case you have just different kind of foundations, for example F1, F2 and F3, so you have to just measure all of the foundations detail, and then you have to just calculate them separately. So in this case we have just all of the foundations same, so I'll just calculate one, and I'll multiply it with total numbers. So I'll just go here in Excel sheet again, and I want to just start from here as serial number 1, description excavation for F1. Okay, so I'll just write here excavation F1. Now the next one is numbers. So in this case we have to just give here a total numbers of foundations that belongs to F1. So in this case I have to just calculate over here. I'll just go here, and you can see we have just 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 and 13 foundations that are F1. It's mean that in size these all are same. So I'll just go here, and I'll just write here 13. Now the next we have to just give here a length, and I have calculated the length, that is 1.3 meter. It's mean that 1300 millimeter, and in 1 meter we have 1000 millimeter. We can just convert it into meter. For example, we have 1300 millimeter divided by 1000 to convert it into meter. Okay, 1.3. Now next the breadth is also same, 1.3, and in depth we have 850 millimeter. You can see over here we have just depth over here. We can just check the depth from the section as I told you earlier, 150 plus 400 plus 300. So let me just go here, 150 plus 400 plus 300, so it will just make total of 850 millimeter, and we have to just divide it on 1000 to convert it into meter, that is 0.85 meter. So I'll just go here in Excel, and in depth we have 0.85 meter. We have to just find out the quantity in meter cube. So in this case we have to just multiply length into breadth into depth, multiply by total numbers. So I'll just go here, equal to, I'll start the bracket, this is the number, multiply by length, multiply by breadth, multiply by depth. Okay, and I'll just close this one. So it will just give us total quantity over here, okay, for these foundations. So it is total of 18.6745. Let me just go here, and I want to put here a decimal place. So in this case I'll go here in numbers option, I'll select this one, 2 decimal, I'll press OK. So the total excavation that we need for this foundation, okay, this F1 foundation for this whole plan is 18.67 cubic meter. Okay, now in this column I'll just go here equal to, I'll just sum up all of the values. For example, in your case, if you have F1, F2, F3, F4 here, and you have to sum up all of the values over here like this, sum equal to sum, I'll just drag this all. Okay, I'll just select this range and I'll close the bracket and I'll hit enter. Now this is the total quantity over here. Now you can just add any of the remarks over here as well. Now let me just go here in a tab and I want to just rename this one as excavation. Okay, what? Excavation. Excavation, like this. Now this is how we can just find out quantity of excavation. In next tutorial we'll just find out quantity of PCC. Hope you understand this session. We'll see you in the next. Hello, in this tutorial we are going to find out quantity of PCC, mean plain cement concrete, and here you can see we have just detail of PCC over here in this section, and we have just this plan of PCC as well. So the length and the breadth of the PCC will be equal to length and the breadth of the excavation, because we have to just place the PCC where we have just excavate. Here you can see we have just this foundation, okay, this F1, and we have to just place a PCC over here. Now only thing will be changed over here is the thickness of the PCC. Now we have to just give here this value as a thickness of PCC. You can see our section as 150 millimeter. So this is how we can just find out over here. I'll just go here in Excel and I'll just right click on this tab, and from here I'll go in move or copy option, and I'll go in move to end option, and I'll just check this one, create a copy, and I'll press OK to just copy this format over here. Let me just give any color over here to make this separate. I'll start from here, right click, and let me just give here a name as PCC. Okay, PCC means plain cement concrete, and right click, and I want to just give here a color as this color. Now here again I'll just go here and I'll just change it into PCC, plain cement concrete. Now in serial number I'll just go with 1. Okay, then we have to just give here PCC for F1, what, foundation 1, PCC for F1. And next we have to just give here number of foundations from where we have to do PCC. So these are 13 foundation from where we have to do PCC. Here you can see we have just 13 foundations, and first we'll just do the PCC. Now the next length and the breadth of the foundation is 1.3 meter by 1.3 meter where we have to do the PCC. Okay, in all of this area we have to do PCC, all of this area, and this is 1300 by 1300 millimeter, mean 1.3 meter by 1.3 meter. Now the next column here is depth. So instead of depth, let me just give here thickness, because PCC has a thickness, okay, like this. And let me just give here a thickness value. So we can just check the thickness value from the section, okay, and it is 150 millimeter. It's mean that we have 0.15 meter, okay, divided by 1000, 0.15 meter, okay. And I'll just go here and I'll just give here a value of 0.15 meter, and I'll hit enter. So in all of these foundation, like 13 foundation of F, we need 3.30 cubic meter of PCC over here. So if in your case, if you have just a foundation of F1, F2 and F3, so you have to just calculate for F1 separately, F2 separately, and F3 separately. So this is the method to calculate the PCC. Hope you understand this session. We'll see you in the next. Hello, in this tutorial we are going to find out formwork quantity in foundation. So before finding the quantity, let's see what is formwork. Formwork is a term used for the process of creating temporary mold into which concrete is poured and formed. Traditional formwork is fabricated using timber, but it can also be constructed from steel, glass, fiber, reinforced plastics, and other materials. So here is the pictorial slide of the formwork. Here you can see we have just isolated foundation, and this is the formwork for isolated foundation. Remember that the quantity of the formwork will be in meter square or feet square. For example, if you are just finding the quantity in feet, you have to just find in feet square, and in meter the quantity will be in meter square. So for example, I want to just find out the formwork of this isolated footing. In this case, first I have to just measure this parameter, okay, from here to here, then here, then here, then here, okay, and then I will just multiply it with height, so it will just give us the total quantity. So let's move into the AutoCAD, and let's see how we can just find out the total quantity of the formwork for those foundations. So here you can see we have just this plan for the footing, and we have to just install a formwork in this area like this, okay. So we have to just measure this parameter from to here to here, here to here, here to here, and here to here. So it will just give us the length of the formwork, and then we'll just multiply it with the height, and you can see the height of this foundation or the thickness of this foundation is 400. So we'll just multiply it with the height. It will just give us the total quantity of work. Okay, so let's see what is the dimension over here. You can see the dimension from here to here is 1000 millimeter, where we have to just install a formwork. 1000 in this direction, 1000 in this direction, and then again 1000 and 1000. So it will just make total of 1 2 3 and 4000 millimeter of parameter, and we'll just convert it into meter, and the total parameter in meter will be 4, and then we have to just multiply it with this height, and it will just give us the total quantity of formwork. So I'll just go here in Excel, and let me just copy this one, this tab again, and I'll go here in move and copy, move to end, create a copy, and I'll press OK. Now instead of PCC, I'll just write here formwork, okay, formwork, and then we have to just make some little modifications over here. Before that, let me just choose for example this kind of color to make it separate, and I'll just write here formwork like this. And next I have to just give here a length and the height, not the breadth. So I'll just delete this column. In this case, I'll just select this column, and I'll go here, right click, and I'll just delete this one. Now we have just a length, and the instead of thickness we have to just give here height. Okay, so in formwork what we need length or parameter into height, so it will just give us the total quantity, and the total quantity will be in meter square. Instead of this, I'll just go here in insert, and I will just insert this symbol square, okay. From symbol I'll go here, and we have just square option over here, okay. I'll just insert this one, close this one, and again I have to just copy this one from here, copy. I'll paste it over here as well. Total quantity will also be in meter. Now let me just delete this data from here. Okay, I'll just delete this one, and I'll start from here, and let me just give here a description. Form work for F1, okay, foundation 1. Now the next we have to just give here a numbers, and we have to just count total foundation regarding F1. So in this case we have just 13 foundation, where we have to just poured a concrete, okay. Now the next we have to just give here a length, and as I have calculated already the parameter over here or a length of this formwork, so it will be 4 meter, okay. And I'll just enter here 4, and then height is 400 millimeter. You can see we have just height or the thickness of this foundation is 400 from here to here. So I'll just convert it into meter first. 400 divided by 1000, and it will 1000, and it will just give us 0.4 meter, and this will be the what height point. Now the next we have to just find out the total quantity equal to numbers multiply by length multiply by height, okay. So it will just give us the total quantity in meter square. So formwork that we need here is 20.80 meter square, okay. What 20.80 meter square. Let me just go here in home, and I'll just move it over here in center. So this was the procedure to find out the formwork for any foundation. Hope you understand this session. We'll see you in the next. Hello, in this tutorial we are going to find out a quantity of concrete in foundation, and here you can see we have just plan over here, and after installing the formwork, next step will be we have to just pour the concrete over here. Now we can see over here we have to just pour the concrete in this area, and in this case what we need length, breadth and the height of a foundation. So we can see here in plan we have just length as 1000, breadth as 1000 and the height in section as 400 millimeter. So we have to just give here a length, breadth and the height, so it will just give us a total quantity of F1. As you can see in this plan we have only F1. So if in your case you have just for example F1, F2, F3, so you need to find out for all of these foundations one by one, for example F1, F2 and F3, but the process will be same. Now let's open the this Excel, and I'll just go here, I'll just right click, move or copy, and I'll go here in move and create copy. I'll press OK. Now let me just rename it, and I'll just write here concrete for foundation. What? Concrete for foundation, like this. Now again I'll just go here, concrete for foundation, concrete for foundation. Okay, and we have to just give here a data. Let me just delete this one from here, and I'll just write it as concrete for F1. Okay, and if you have F2 you can just write over here F2, F3, F4, and you have to just find out all of the concrete for all of these foundations, and it will just give you the total quantity over here. So next we have to just give here a number of foundations, as we have 13 foundation over here. Next we have to just give here a length, as we have calculated the length as 1000 millimeter, it's mean 1 meter, and a breadth as 1 meter again, and we have to just give here a thickness of this foundation. So let me just go here, check 400 millimeter is a thickness, and we have to just convert it into meter. Okay, so it will just give us total of 0.4 meter, and again I'll go here, 0.4 meter is a thickness, 0.4, and I'll just hit enter. Now you can see here we need total of 5.20 cubic meter of concrete for these isolated footings. So this is how we can just find out a concrete in foundation. Hope you understand this session. We'll see you in the next.